Hello folks, my name is Marc Gallagher, hope you're doing well. I'm a musician based in Crewe, England, and I play live gigs all the time, several times a week. That's like my main thing. And as part of me playing live, I sing a lot in live situations and contexts. And I thought for this video, it'd be interesting to take a look at all the microphones that I have bought and acquired over the last few years and kind of shoot them out directly both on my voice and also on the female voice. For that latter, we're using my friend Alice Yardy. Thank you very much, Alice, for that. We're going to do a little bit of discussion of the microphones in question, and then we're going to do some more direct, quick-fire shootouts and see how we fare. First microphone we're going to look at is the Telefunken M81. This is my go-to microphone for live vocals. This is what I normally use when I'm singing. It has a nice darker response compared to the M80 that I don't have, but it kind of suits my voice a little bit better as a bloke. So this is already like my go-to one, but maybe in this shootout I'll find a new favorite, one that I haven't considered before. Next one is an Audix OM2. I wanted to get a few different microphones to work with so I could like compare and contrast and see how I felt on them. And I managed to get this as a Christmas present from my mum. So thank you, mum. She got me this last year, and I've used this on a few gigs, and I'd be intrigued to see your thoughts as well as my own later on. Next one is a Shure KSM8. This is what I was using as my main go-to microphone for live vocals before I got the Telefunken. I was looking to try and upgrade from like the standard SM58s, which we'll get to in a second. And this one's nice, has some great detail in the high frequencies, which we'll hopefully look at and listen to slightly later. Next microphone on this is a SM58. If you know anything about microphones, you probably know about the SM58. It's been here and around for decades, and it's kind of like the industry standard. So we're going to take a look at how something as famous and beloved as this compares to other microphones. In addition, we also have the SM57. This microphone is usually used on instruments, such as guitars. It can also be used nicely on drums, things like amp cabinets as well. However, I have used this live for voice before, and I thought it'd be interesting to consider it at the very least. This next one is a Behringer Supercardioid XM1800S. I don't remember the last time I used this on my own voice. Behringer has its reputation as being not very good. However, when it comes to passive electronics, things that don't require external power, things like a dynamic microphone, which is taking a magnet and then coiling some wire around it, Behringer have proven to be rather successful in this. However, because it's been so long, I'm genuinely curious to see how this sounds on my voice. And lastly, we have the Citronic DMC-03. This is a very cheap piece of crap from what I remember. I've not used this in a few years because it was probably like one of the first microphones I ever bought, and it cost me maybe £50 at a stretch. So I'm not expecting too much out of this microphone, but who knows, we might find ourselves pleasantly surprised. As for how this shootout is going to work, we're all going into the same interface, which is my Focusrite Scala 18920. We're all going into the same input using the same preamp. The only thing that is going to change is the microphone itself. I'm going to keep the mics in the same position in the room. I'm not going to put a reflection filter around it because I want to approach the microphone in live context. So for the same reasons, I'm not going to put a pop shield in front of it. I'm going to have a reasonable-ish distance from the microphone like I would when I have my general live use. I'm going to try my best to not get right up into the face of the capsule, but I want to have maybe about 4 inches in between to kind of just get a little semblance of what it would be like for my own live use. I'm going to be changing the preamp settings just to make sure we level match so we don't have the automatic like, oh, this is louder, ergo it must be better sort of thing going on. So yeah, we're going to do a quick rapid fire of testing that.
Jolene, 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 I'm begging of you, please don't take my man. Jolene, 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 please don't take him even though you can. can. Jolene, 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 I'm begging of you, please don't take my man. Jolene, 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 please don't take him even though you can. Jolene, 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 I'm begging of you, please don't take my man. Jolene, 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 please don't take him even though you can. Jolene, 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 I'm begging of you, please don't take my man. Jolene, 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 please don't take him even though you can. Jolene, 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 I'm begging of you, please don't take my man. Jolene, 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 please don't take him even though you can. Jolene, 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 I'm begging of you, please don't take my man. Jolene, 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 please don't take him even though you can. Jolene, 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 I'm begging of you, please don't take my man. Jolene, 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 please don't take him even though you can. Jolene, 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 I'm begging of you, please don't take my man. Jolene, 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 please don't take him even though you can. Jolene, 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 I'm begging of you, please don't take my man. Jolene, 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 please don't take him even though you can.
So darling, darling, stand by me. Whoa, stand by me. Oh, stand now. Stand by me. Stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Whoa, stand by me. Oh, stand now. Stand by me. Stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Whoa, stand by me. Oh, stand now. Stand by me. Stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand now. Stand by me. Stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand now. Stand by me. Stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand now. Stand by me. Stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Whoa, stand by me. Oh, stand now. Stand by me. Stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Whoa, stand by me. Oh, stand now. Stand by me. Stand by me. So those were all the microphones in my locker at the moment, at least the ones for live vocal use. What did you think? Did you have any favourites? Let me know in the comments. I'd be interested to hear those. Firstly, I'd like to give you a couple of mine. I've took some notes on these because I took the time to kind of just like really sit in and listen, going back and forth between the various tracks. The Neumann is the best sounding overall because it's a condenser. It has more high-end detail in the voice and it's wonderful to use. However, in my experience, it can be difficult because it's more susceptible to plosives. You can bypass that by way of putting on a windshield like I demonstrated with Alice. However, you lose some of the top end and it still can be problematic and more susceptible to feedback depending on how your live setup is. For me personally, I use an acoustic amp which is not too far away from where I perform, so I can find myself at risk. And personally, if I was to gig with a Neumann, I would be taking something else as a backup. My favorite microphone from the Shootout was probably still the Telefunken. It had some really good body to the mic, but surprisingly had some nice sibilance. I was also surprised in the sample with Alice how it picked up on plosives. I didn't realize that one quite so much, at least when I've sang and gigged with it. So that one caught me off guard a little bit. But overall, the Telefunken is still my favorite. I thought the KSM8, the Shure Silver one, was a bit woolly in the lower mids, and that's something I'll have to like carve out when I gig with this mic again in the future. SM58 is great and standard, but at the 4-inch distance I kind of keep, it can be a bit thin. Obviously you can use proximity effect to your advantage by getting a little closer to it, but I think that the SM57 is actually nicer overall compared to the 58. The only problem is it's just more susceptible to plosives. So if you do gig with it on voice, you have to have your mic technique on point. But I love the top end and the clarity, the air that you get of a 57 compared to a 58. And I think that people sleep on the 57 as a vocal mic. The Audix has a pretty high output, although it can be a little on the thin side. Could be still really nice for female vocals. I still thought all my mics were pretty good, generally speaking, very much functional. Speaking of just very much functional, the Behringer was pretty good. It's fine, just a bit on the dark side, and then the Citronic was thin and not great, and it sounded like a microphone I got for 50 quid, maybe 30. So like that and the Behringer, they exist as like backup microphones. If I ever find myself on a sound job where I have to mic up and I have to have like, I don't know, 10, 15 vocal mics and I'm starting to run out of options, then I will have like the Citronic and the Behringer is just there and it will just do a basic enough job. But yeah, my personal favorites there was the Telefunken and the SM57 in terms of sound. Audix was nice too, but let me know what you guys think, because that's always really interesting to me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, what you thought about the various mics and if you had any preferences. Until then, my name is Marc Gallagher. This has been quite a fun challenge and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.